Buying quality liquor can be an intimidating experience, whether it's picking out the perfect birthday gift for a connoisseur or expanding an alcohol repertoire previously reliant on whatever cheap stuff you drank in college. But taking the easy route and adding booze to mixers and cocktails is a missed opportunity. Choosing a high-quality alcohol means mixers are no longer needed, so you can put down the fruit punch-flavored drinks and start drinking like a grown-up. These are the alcohols that are so good you can actually drink them straight. Crown Royal was literally made for royalty, first crafted as a gift for King George VI and Queen Elizabeth, the first ever reigning monarchs to visit Canada. The extra rare incarnation made in now closed distilleries is considered such an extravagant whiskey that Houston Astros second baseman Jose Altuve gifted each of his teammates a bottle after they won the 2017 World Series. As the Crown Royal website puts it, the flavour is rich and complex and leaves a long, peppery and warm finish. Margaret Waterbury of the Whiskey Wash agrees, saying it's totally worth its $130 price tag. It's a satisfying luxury experience and the stuff tastes just like you'd hope. A deeper, more resonant version of the easy-drinking Crown Royal you know and love. If you're after a bitter liquor from the Czech Republic, and who isn't, Becherovka is the best. The colour is golden, the consistency slightly syrupy. The flavour starts harsh but ends up smooth, leaving drinkers with what can only be described as a Christmassy aftertaste. It's easy to shoot, but sipping it works just as well. Many in the Czech Republic also swear by its medicinal qualities. The herbal liquor is certainly an acquired taste, but Becherovka cocktails are swiftly appearing on trendy bar menus around the world. Connoisseurs swear by drinking it straight. You wouldn't sip on rubbing alcohol, so why would you buy booze that tastes like it? Luckily, there's vodka out there like Reyka, an incredibly smooth, small-batch spirit from Iceland that barely leaves a burn in the back of your throat. Drinking it is almost like taking a clean, crisp sip of water. And water sourced from Arctic springs that run through a 4,000-year-old lava field is an integral part of the distilling process. If that wasn't enough of a reason to try it straight, the vodka is also filtered through lava rocks and harnesses the country's naturally occurring geothermal energy to produce each bottle. Bourbon served neat is the way to go for most serious bourbon drinkers, particularly those residing in Kentucky, where 95% of the world's bourbon is produced. Four Roses Single Barrel Bourbon is consistently victorious when it comes to winning bourbon accolades. Even at 100 proof and 50% alcohol by volume, the taste is incredibly smooth and mellow with a lingering but pleasant finish. The Four Roses website politely offers cocktail recipes for drinkers getting used to the brand, but notes that their single barrel bourbon has been handcrafted to be enjoyed on its own. Not mixing rum into a cocktail seems out of place for some, but when you find a great rum, like Zacapa 23, you understand why it's best enjoyed on its own. Originating in Guatemala, it's a departure from Cuban and Puerto Rican rums, but that's part of why it stands out. This particular rum is blended using rums aged 6 to 23 years. The result is a slightly sweet, buttery taste that can stand completely on its own. Spencer Spellman of Whiskey Tango Globetrot says, "It's rich, flavorful, smooth, and I'd never even consider adding it to a cocktail. My recommendation? Pour an after-dinner glass neat and pair with a nice piece of dark chocolate." Speaking of chocolate, chocolate plus whiskey sounds awesome, but few have managed to marry the two, as well as Kings County Distillery. Their chocolate whiskey, made in Brooklyn, combines their signature moonshine with ground cacao bean husks. The result is a bittersweet taste with a warm finish that is surprisingly smooth. While it's tempting to throw together a chocolate-based cocktail, you'd be doing the whiskey a disservice if that's your first introduction to the brand. As Shantae Cosme of Complex Magazine writes, "A fine tequila does not require you to lap up a rim's worth of Morton's salt for it to be palatable, nor does it need to be saturated with a sea of sugar-laden sour mix. And when it comes to the world's first platinum Extra-Añejo tequila, drinking it neat is definitely the norm. The typical amber color is removed after being filtered 9 times after the aging process, then distilled a 3rd time, according to Men's Journal. It's part of why when you're drinking it, there's no overbearing alcohol smell or harsh burn. It's a tequila that's meant to be enjoyed over a long period of time, like when you're watching the sun go down in Mexico, rather than rushing to suck on a lime after some sloppy shots.
If you're unfamiliar with the Italian liqueur Aperol, you're probably not alone. It's not exactly a household staple, but you'll spy it on the shelf at most bars and liquor stores around the other apéritifs. Liqueurs designed to wake up the digestive system before a meal.
Richmond?
Oh, do you have any absinthe?
No.
I only drink absinthe.
Absinthe, no. Red wine, white wine, Carlsberg.
Oh, Carlsberg, perfect.
Recently, bars serving up craft cocktails have turned to Aperol as a mixer, using it in cocktails like the Paper Plane, which is made with equal parts bourbon, Aperol, Amaro Nonino, and fresh lemon juice. It's also popular as part of the refreshing Aperol Spritz, which is Aperol and Prosecco, but we wondered if it would stand up as a solo sipper. It turns out it's a fantastic option. Aperol describes the flavor of their signature product as zesty orange with complex herbal scents harmonized with a touch of vanilla, and it finishes with a pleasant herbaceous bitterness. It doesn't hurt that this liqueur boasts a surprisingly low alcohol content, clocking in at only 11%. That means the bittersweet flavor of the orange and herbs can come through without being stifled by a harsh alcohol finish. Sounds perfect for waking up your palate before a big meal or enjoying on a hot summer day. Irish cream doesn't exactly have the reputation that would inspire you to drink it on the rocks. It's most commonly used to celebrate St. Patrick's Day, booze up your coffee, or turn a White Russian into a mudslide and a martini into a chocolatini. While most people think of Baileys when it comes to Irish cream, there's a better option, especially if you're drinking it on the rocks. Five Farms Irish Cream is made in County Cork, Ireland, and the company describes it as a true farm-to-table product. Each bottle is made from a single batch of fresh cream sourced from 5 local family-run farms. The cream is then mixed with real Irish whiskey, creating a concoction that earned the highest-scoring Irish cream liqueur in history, 97 points at the 2018 Ultimate Spirits Challenge. The judges described it as having flavors of coffee with fresh cream, dulce de leche, coconut, maple, and Belgian waffles. Drink it after dinner instead of dessert, and you might just find yourself an Irish cream on the rocks convert. Scotch isn't for everyone, but aficionados know it's best to drink it without any mixers. Aging the strong liquor in casks or barrels for a minimum of 3 years, or as long as 50 years, deepens its flavor and mellows out any harsh alcohol tones, making it smooth and sippable. Some types of Scotch, especially those from Islay, contain heavy smoked flavors because of their use of peat, but Balvenie is in a different class of Scotch. So, what about those of us who are looking to break into the Scotch world and don't want something that's super peaty? This is where Balvenie's Caribbean Cask comes in. It's not smoky at all, and their aging process makes it an excellent intro sipper, especially for rum lovers. Balvenie normally ages their single malt whiskey in oak casks for 14 years to give it a smooth finish and a honeyed flavor. For their Caribbean cask, they take an extra step, finishing the aged Scotch in rum barrels. That infuses it with notes of toffee and a hint of fruit with a warm, lingering finish, creating an easy-drinking, super sippable Scotch. After a few sips, you may wonder why you've always preferred whiskey and bourbon to Scotch. It may be a world where most people consider Guinness to be their Irish drink of choice, but a recent resurgence in the popularity of true Irish whiskey is getting many to rethink what Irish whiskey really means. Distilleries are partnering the old ways with new technology and creating a whiskey revolution, but still, there are some that stand out from the pack. What sets Green Spot apart is that it's single pot still whiskey, a process that only happens in Ireland. According to Richard Thomas of Paste magazine, what makes single pot whiskey still whiskey unique is that the whiskey comes from a single distillery and is made in a pot still and with barley. While single malts are made from 100% malted barley, single pot still whiskey is made with both malted and unmalted green barley. Yellow Spot is a higher-end whiskey that delivers an incredible drinking experience, but Green Spot is definitely an affordable alternative packing a nice punch. It results in a creamy mouthfeel after delighting drinkers with its hints of cinnamon, vanilla, and brown sugar sensations. In this way, it's best left as is and as far from the ginger ale bottle as possible. Connoisseurs know their whiskey after all. And great whiskey? It's on the rocks. Remember that oddly sensual Disaronno commercial where a woman ordered Disaronno on the rocks and ended up sucking on the tasty ice cubes? Well, the commercial might have been annoying, but the concept behind it is solid. This almond-flavored amaretto liqueur is rich and sweet, and it goes down easy. Most bartenders use it to make drinks like the amaretto sour, combine it with scotch for the Godfather drink, or serve it over ice cream. Our favorite way to enjoy it? On the rocks as a sipper after-dinner treat, either with dessert or as a dessert replacement. What makes Disaronno's amaretto so much tastier than other brands? Well, it's hard to say exactly. They've closely guarded the secret family recipe since the 1500s, but we do know that it doesn't actually contain almonds. The American Academy of Allergy, Asthma and Immunology confirms that Disaronno Originale is nut-free, made with apricot kernel oil and 17 herbs and fruits. Something about that complex combination creates a smooth, unforgettable experience. So sip away without the need for a mixer.